the Den, so go tell a friend. The best podcast on earth's about to begin. We got jokes and news and movie reviews. After Dark NC-17 with the crew. Interviews with the best artists around. So like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now. Let's go. Like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now. Welcome to Down in the Den. It's your boy Marz. We're back again. And as always, we always have the most talented, the most interesting, the most unique guests. And today is no different. Today with me, I have a gentleman who I believe is going to be the next big thing in pop and R&B music. I've checked out his music. I'm so happy that he's here. Ztilo, welcome to the Den, sir. How are you doing today?
Doing good. I like the introduction, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man, I'm high energy. I'm known for it. You know, lots of Mountain Dew usually gets me through the day. But I am legit sincere. I was so happy when I had an opportunity to check some of your music out. We've been batting 1,000 lately, not to toot my own horn, but toot. But we've been having some really awesome guests. And like I said, no different. So if you're ready, man, you're ready to have some fun, let's get right into it.
Let's go.
Awesome. So the first thing, you're from the Bay Area, correct?
Yep, that's right.
Yes, sir. What part of the Bay?
South Bay, so San Jose.
Nice. Now, I always notice when somebody comes from a somewhat musical town, it usually influences how they make their music. How was it growing up in the Bay, and did it have any impact or influence on your style of music?
Definitely, I would just say, production-wise, the things that I'm drawn to, the heavier bass, right? All of that comes from that local sound, that Bay Area sound. So it's a part of me for sure.
Absolutely, and it's nothing like the drum line. I think that's the heartbeat of music. That nice bass, that drum line is what kind of drives the music. Now, before you transition to R&B, I understand that you dabbled in hip hop for a little bit. Is that correct?
I did. That's how I got started. So, my first big radio song was here locally on 106 KMEL, and it was me rapping on it. So I got my start in hip hop. Was always R&B influenced.
Okay.
Right? They used to call me the R&B rapper, and that wasn't a title I gave myself. So, I think it wasn't too surprising that I ended up transitioning into strictly, a more R&B and singing type of vibe. So
Absolutely.
right.
Well, you have a fantastic voice. You have an amazing voice. And as I'm going through the singles and I'm listening to it, the production is top notch, lyrics are top notch, vocals are top notch. I love that you're a multifaceted artist. With that being said, what's your favorite genre of music? Because I love to see if there's a disconnect between what you put out and what's your favorite genre to listen to. You'll be surprised. So what's your favorite genre of music?
Favorite genre of music, man, I'd have to say, either rap or earlier 2000s R&B.
There
That's
you go.
that's
That's
why
my generation. That's my now. I have a little bit on age on you, but that's definitely my generation, and that's the vibe I get. That blue-eyed soul, but just with a little bit of funk
yeah.
and a mixture of hip hop. So I definitely dig that. Now, I'm always interested with artists, especially with musicians. Your music making process. I checked out several of your new singles, and I feel like you're really in the groove right now. Everyone sounds slightly different, but familiar, if that makes any sense. I love Strange Addiction. I love Missing You in the video. And then I was provided your new single that hasn't been released yet. I Got You, that I think is a certified banger. Tell me about your process when you're making music. Are you a melody first person? Are you a hook based person? What's your writing process and your creative process like?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say that the variety is by design, right? So I don't go in the studio and say I'm this artist that makes this type of music. It's whatever inspires me. Now, I would say majority of the time, melody first, right? We'll go in there. Me and my co-writer will go in there and we'll write the melodies first. So if it's catchy and the vibe is there, it's always easy to just add words at that point. Although if I'm inspired by something specifically, then I may already have the concept in mind, and then I'll just add that to whatever melodies we come up with. So it's there's more than one way to skin that cat, you know.
Very true. Now, do you usually work with the same team, or do you have, are you going outside the box, getting different producers, or do you normally work like an in-house team?
Now we've been in house so far, so I noticed that that's more my style. I like to build a team and keep that consistent. So it's me and my co-writer Zach Steele, who's also my engineer. So we lock in the studio and we just knock them out. Production wise, I've been working with Contrabands. He's out of Russia. He seems to have a pretty big footprint online. So we connected sonically, and he's just been feeding me. And if it's not him, it's my boys from Germany, Jules, Jaden, and Severin. So I don't lack a supply of beats for sure.
No, not at all. Everything I've heard so far has been fire, which it's not a bad problem to have, where you have that much heat coming out. Now, you mentioned that you had that early 2000s R&B sound, and I'm an 80s baby, raised in the 90s, lived in the 2000s. So I think personally, I've lived upon the best time in music, and I know every generation says that, but I mean it. With your new music, it has that classic sound, but it's an updated vibe. It doesn't sound dated at all. Who are some of your musical influences when it comes to R&B? I definitely hear some Michael in there, and I know you've been told that a million times, and I'm so jealous because you have the purest falsetto I've heard in a long time, and I have a deep voice, so I really hurt my voice when I try to go anything over a baritone. But who are some of your musical influences?
It's funny you say Michael because that's Zach's biggest influence. So when we're co-writing, you're probably hearing some of that from him. But I have a pretty solid top five that I would say are my biggest influences. So I'd have to say The Weeknd.
Okay,
Uh, I'd have to say Bruno Mars, Usher. Um, Drawing a blank here. Um, Justin Timberlake
okay.
and Cisco.
That's a solid top five. That is a very solid top five and diverse musically, how they all, at least vocally, they're all diverse. But it made sense because all of those guys are very heavily influenced by Michael, Justin,
Yep.
Bruno. So it made sense. And I can definitely hear that. Now, as I mentioned earlier, it's not a bad problem to have all this heat. When can we expect a full length project?
Man, that's a good question. We have a lot of music that's already done. So we're kind of just rolling them out one by one, casting a really wide net. We might go a little more classic R&B, a little more pop. We have some Latin stuff on the way. So, it's really just testing the waters before we kind of put a cohesive project together and, see what makes sense there. But I'm just putting out the singles for now and kind of seeing what happens from that.
Well, that's really a way to do it. I think I was listening to T Pain, and he was just talking about the evolution of the
Oh, yeah.
music industry, and um, we don't consume music the way we used to do. When I was growing up, we went to a music store and we bought a CD and we unwrapped it, and you were stuck. You didn't hear but the one or two singles that were released on the radio before it came out. So if it sucked after those first two songs, you were just 13, 15 bucks out, and you opened it up and you read, okay, this was produced by Dr. Dre and this was produced by Timberland. And then you put it in your car and you drove for, 2 hours. And then let me listen to it again. Now music's a lot more fast paced. It's like, get it out, get it out, get it out. Do
Yeah.
you find that difficult, the business aspect with it being so different, the way that it's consumed? You can put a fire single out and then you need another one 2 weeks later because just the way it's consumed. Do you find that difficult?
There's pros and cons, right? So the pros is you have direct access to the listeners, right? So back in the days where you had to go to the store and buy the CD, it was going to be a lot harder to actually get your music to people because you can only reach as many people as you can hand a CD to. Now it's like you put it online and the world is your oyster as long as you can get it in front of people. But the cons is things live a lot shorter. They have a
Mm,
shorter lifespan. So that's part of the reason why we're just putting out singles, because if we put out a project before we're ready, and by the time people start checking for it, it's old news, right? So
right.
you gotta keep everything, sprinkle a little bit of new,
That's
as you
smart.
go.
That's ingenious, and that's really the way. You're absolutely right. I think everyone has attention deficit disorder now. Back when I was growing up, literally the life cycle of one song was 3 months. So usually over a year, they would release 3 to 4 singles over the year. That's your rollout of the album. So that's definitely wise. Now, I always love talking to creatives. And have you ever had an experience where you were given a song and you're like, I don't want to sing this. This is not me. But then it pops, or vice versa. If you have a song that you knew this was going to kill, and then it was like, wah, 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 and you're like, what the hell? Have you ever had that experience?
For sure. I mean, we keep it pretty in house as far as the writing goes, but even between me and Zach, we call it the Zach test. So if I write something and I think, man, this is the one, right? It has to pass the Zach test. So I send it to him or I play it for him, and sometimes he's like, nah, this ain't it. And vice versa, right? If he comes up with something and I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna sound if I say it like that or say that. But sometimes you just have to have that trust, and then before you know it, it all comes together, and you're like, all right, I see what you did there. So that's what makes the collaboration process so fun. Is sometimes you have to shoot in the dark and have that trust, and go in there a little blind, but also be open to criticism. I'm like, man, if it sucks, just tell me. My
Absolutely.
feelings don't get hurt. It's let's just make the best song we can.
Wholeheartedly. I tell everyone, get a crew that no yes men, no yes men involved. If you want to be successful in
Oh
industry,
yeah,
no yes men or women. Have someone that you can trust, that has your back, and can tell you this isn't it. Because I think I would have been a lot more successful earlier in life if I didn't just circle myself around. Oh, you're the funniest. Like, oh, am I? So that's awesome. Now, I always like to ask, if I was to take your phone right now, and I said, Stilo, give me that phone. What's the first song that I'm gonna pull on this playlist? The song that you need to set any mood. What's that go-to song for you? And it could be one of yours or someone else.
it's gonna be between one of mine, right? Usually the one that's about to come out, I like to soak in it, so it's gonna be "I Got You," right? Or you might get in there and find some of that Drew Hill, you know, probably that "We're Not Making Love No More." I'm not gonna be able to hide that one.
So, sir, you're gonna get the stamp. Normally I give a stamp of approval at the end of the interview. I'm gonna give the stamp right now because I'm from the DMV area. So I grew up on Drew Hill. I live probably 2.5 hours from Druid Hill, Maryland. So I grew up. Cisco, very overrated, underrated. Drew
Oh,
Hill, extremely underrated. Even now, with I think I've been a member at this point. They've gone through they've gone through members so much. So man, I like your ear. You're already going to get the stamp of approval. Absolutely. So let's talk about this new single, I Got You. I listened to it. You have Fire right now. I've mentioned that. Strange Addiction, Fire, Missing You, Fire. This new single, I believe it comes out or probably be out before this airs, but I believe it comes out on the 25th. Is that the release date?
yep.
Okay. Tell us about the creation because I love the guitar, of course the lyrics, and it's different from the last couple of singles that you put out. Still definitely you, but different. And I dig that. Tell me about the process of this new single and what went into it.
Yeah, I mean, I got a little more personal on that one. So, I'd say that sometimes my songs are the line between based on a true story and inspired by a true story. I would definitely say this one was based on a true story. And this was one of the few where I actually started thinking of the words before we put the song together, right? So I wrote the first verse just straight from whatever I was thinking about at the time, and I went to Contrabands and I'm like, I need the perfect sound for what I'm going for, and the beat. I was like, this is it. I just knew immediately. I'm like, this is it. This is we. It's funny we call it boy band trap, right? Because his drums are you have that trap vibe, but it's like the harmonies and the melodies that we're putting together. It's kind of along the lines of that '90s pop. So I brought it to Zach. and I said, "This is my concept," and he greenlit it immediately, and we just built it from there. And it's really just a record about uplifting, somebody that you care about, and saying, "Look, even when it gets dark, we'll get back to the light together. I got you."
That's a beautiful sentiment. I know you're probably getting DMs out the woodwork from the music. It's a beautiful sentiment, beautiful lyric. I can't wait for the audience to hear it because it's an awesome song. And I love that I literally had on my notes, boy band 808 in my notes when I was describing it. And so when you said boy band
Wow.
trap, I was like, oh man, we are right here. And let me tell you, I have no everyone who personally knows me knows that I was the six Backstreet Boy. It was AJ and then it was me. They just didn't sign me to a deal. So I grew up loving the Backstreet Boys, still did the Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, New Edition, of course, for the older. So that is something that's been missing right now. But definitely, well, so I hope you guys trademark that and coin that because I have a feeling the industry is going to be copying that. It's a monkey see, monkey do industry. So I like that, and it's definitely something that I feel is just right on the verge of bubbling. So, Stilo, I've had a blast so far, but are you ready for a test?
I hope so.
You got it. You got it. I have confidence, and if not, we'll just edit it out, and then we'll make it look like you're winning. You'll be fine. Oh, we're still live. Okay. Oops. All right. So, what we do whenever we have a musical artist, we play a game of song association. For those who don't know what song association, I explained this to Stilo earlier, but I'm going to give him a word. With that word, he has to think of a song with the word in the lyric or in the title, and he has 10 seconds to get that song. All I need is a bar. If he wants to grace us with the beautiful voice, he can. If not, if he just wants to say it, that's fine. That's completely up to you. I'll let you add that. So, for an example, if the word was star, you could sing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. You got it. That's a point. The problem is there's only three words. So the ability to fail is very high. The probability, you're going to have to get all three. So are you ready?
I guess so. As ready as I'm gonna be.
You got it. So the first word, and I'll just synchronize the watch. The first word is strange. Go.
You got a strange addiction.
Strange Addiction, available everywhere music is heard. It's his single. I listened to it on Tidal. It's dope, but it's everywhere you can imagine. So please check that out. One for one. The next word is nature. Give me
Nature.
what I want, Stilo. You know what I want. 7, 6. Come on. 5, 4,
I don't know.
3. Oh man, oh it's breaking my heart. You can still pass. You can still. I was hoping for human nature. I wanted a bar. I just wanted a bar, human nature. But that's okay. That's okay. I told you it's not easy. It's not easy. But a 66 is passing. So one more word. The word is face. FACE. Face.
Suck at this. I don't know, man. You say
It's
face,
not easy. It's not easy.
face. I don't know, man. I failed. This is why I didn't finish school, man. I don't.
Luckily, you're extremely talented. That's okay, my brother. That's okay. A 33 is better than a 0. So no problem at all. That was fun. It's not easy. You can tell the audience at home that this is not easy. Everyone says, "Oh, that's easy. I would do this." I'm like, okay, when the pressure's on you, I make the game and I get it wrong all the time. So no problem at all. No problem at all.
What's the answer to face?
It could have been anything. It could have been anything. I literally just generate random words, so I don't always know what song is going to be with it. However, some I have in mind. So I'm like, oh man, I would love to hear him sing "Human Nature" because he has that Michael Jackson falsetto. But face, it could have been anything. It could have been anything. But no problem at all. No problem. We'll give you a bonus. If you can give us, you get this, you'll pass. This is going to be a bonus question. You can give us a bar of any of your favorite songs right now. That'll be the bonus question.
Or any of my favorite songs, huh?
Any of your favorite, your own, favorite artist, whatever you want.
Man, I'd say I'm still learning how to love. I got you.
Ladies, he's still learning how to love. So that is perfect. Ztilo, man, this has been a blast. You are dope. I think your future is extremely, extremely bright. If you can tell the den mates where they can find you, your social media details, where they can purchase your music, any merch, anything that you have on, any upcoming tours or anything where they can see you in person, the floor is yours.
And we got some merch coming soon. Until then, follow me at Ztilo Music, Ztilo Music at pretty much every social media profile, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, you name it. /Ztilo Music. You'll find me. Check out the music. Check out the upcoming videos. We have a lot on the way. So, stay tuned.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And when I say I've never steered you guys wrong, when I say he's bringing heat, that boy band trap is about to take over the globe. I promise you, I guarantee you that's going to happen and you're going to be the forefront of that. I wish you nothing but the best and success. You get your stamp. You already got the stamp for the Drew Hill, but you get your stamp. You're an official den mate. You're always welcome here. We'll put all your details in the when we edit this up, it'll be under your face and all of that so everyone can reach you. Please check out my man Ztilo. You can't not find him. It's a very interesting spelling. So, at first when I was like, is it Tillo? Is it Tillo? Zip it? But it's Ztilo, Ztilo. Check him everywhere. When he's on tour, please support the music. Please buy the merch when it's available. And please just bump that boy band trap out of your speakers whenever you have a moment. Well, Ztilo, sir, thank you so much for joining us here on the Den. Like I said, you get your stamp, you're a den mate. Anytime you have something or you just want to come kick it, you're always welcome.
Appreciate that, man. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And as always, thank you guys for checking out Down in the Den. Deuces.
So like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now. Let's go. Like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now.